We at Gatorade are proud of our long-standing relationship with NASCAR through our sponsorship of the Gatorade Twin 125's. The fans of NASCAR are the most loyal in all of sport, and we're proud to continue to bring this exciting event to them.
Going back to Daytona to hear those engines scream. I'm going back to Daytona. I'm going back to a Speedway dream. I can still hear the thunder of the stock car race. Cheers for the driver in first place. The harder odds are making that the rolling sound. You can feel it thundering all over town. Going back to Daytona, going back to a dream.
This is the world center of racing, Daytona Beach, Florida, home tomorrow of the 37th annual Daytona 500. Hello everyone, Ken Squire, and welcome to the Daytona International Speedway, where tomorrow CBS Sports brings you live flag-to-flag coverage starting at noon Eastern of this absolutely magnificent race. We have a tremendous field for the 1995 gathering, 42 drivers at the ready. And to our colleague, Ned Jarrett, I guess the first question is, can you ever remember a year, and we've been down here, and things have gone so smoothly, so easily?
It's almost scary, Ken. They have been going so smoothly, no major incidents, some spins on the racetrack, but certainly no life-threatening injuries of any sort, and we're always glad of that. There was a lot of anticipation coming into this race with the new Monte Carlo Chevrolet. How would they perform on the super speedways? A lot of people thought they might not run very fast, but they'd be good in the race. But when qualifying was all over, Dale Jarrett was on the pole with a Ford and Dale Earnhardt in a Chevrolet on the outside pole with a very close time, so no telling situation there.
Well, anticipation is part of it, but preparation is the major factor in coming to Daytona. And to David Hobbs, the preparation has been just astounding this year. Everybody's been trying to work out these new cars.
Well, absolutely, Ken. Racing is certainly not just a one-day wonder. It's not just on Sunday. There's an amazing amount of preparation and testing goes on, and a full winter's testing down here at Daytona. And most of the time, Ford seemed to be having the edge. Dale Jarrett, of course, being particularly fast, and it was all Ford, Ford, Ford. But since we all got here 10 days ago, those Chevrolet Monte Carlos have really started to flex their muscles and look very, very strong. And we've got Dale Earnhardt, Darrell Waltrip, Sterling Marlin, and Jeff Gordon looking very, very potent in their Monte Carlos, and this afternoon's races are going to be really important to set tomorrow's grid.
And of course, David, those Pontiacs, as we saw, as you're about to see in the 125 milers, that's the story that's coming right up here on CBS. But first, the biggest story here, the man of the hour, is standing by with Mike Joy.
Dale Earnhardt, one day to the Great American Race. What's going to be different this time around?
Hopefully we'll be in victory lane. We've worked awful hard for it, Mike. Everybody's really pumped up. Feels good about this week, the way the car and everybody's been running, and the way my luck's been going. It's been pretty good. So we're just taking them one by one. And today's Busch Grand National race with Jeff Green driving, and we're going to see what he can do, and hopefully we'll be okay for tomorrow.
Richard Petty says the best you can do on any given day is put your car in a position to win. Circumstances dictate the outcome. How much of your own luck do you make?
Well, y'all, you can make your own luck. You just got to keep the car in the right position, and that's what Richard's talking about, is just, moving and making the right moves and being patient at the right times. It's just a lot goes into 500 miles. So if you were doing everything right all day long, you're going to end up in the right place.
You may not have exactly the fastest car here, but do you have the best car here?
We got one of the best cars here. There's a couple cars out there that are really good, so I think we're one of the best. Maybe we can be the best at the end of 500 miles.
You've won more than 24 races on this racetrack, but what's so different about the third Sunday in February?
I got no idea. We've always been good on that day. It's just some come up short somewhere.
Well, perhaps this Sunday he'll be just a little better. When we come back, the Gatorade Twin 125 to show you how everyone qualified for the Daytona 500.
This CBS Sports Special, the Gatorade Twin 125s, is sponsored by Gatorade Thirst Quencher, the official sports beverage of NASCAR. Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Beats with Age Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you.
At Daytona Beach, Florida, largest crowd ever gathered for the 125-mile qualifiers around this 2.5-mile track, awaiting to see who will make it into the 36th annual Daytona 500. The weather couldn't be better. As you take a look out here over Lake Lloyd, temperature going to break 80 before we get this race underway, perhaps. Humidity's about right, just a slight breeze, and it's sunny weather for both of these 50-lap events today. Down on pit road, there's the first 125-mile qualifier field, and up on the very front, it's Dale Jarrett, the man on the pole. And standing by with him is Mike Joy.
Thanks, Ken. Dale is already assured of the pole for Sunday's 500, so for you and you alone, this is not a qualifying race. What is it then?
More of a 50-lap test for us. We've been struggling with the car a little bit, so we're going to try to get it worked out here today. If it'll run up front, that's what we're going to do. If not, we're going to settle in and see what we need to do for Sunday, but we need to start this car here on the pole come Sunday.
Larry McReynolds and crew made a lot of changes on this car this morning. What and why?
Well, we just haven't been able to hit the handle combination that we wanted. The car's been a little bit loose, and we just evaluated everything that we had done and thought we'd try something a little bit different that has worked in the past for them, and hopefully it'll work now.
Good luck, Dale. Across the front row, a man for whom this race is very important, with David Hobbs.
Sterling Marlin, you won the 500 last year. You qualified really good last weekend, and it's run strong all week. How confident are you today?
Well, I tell you, Tony and the boys have done a real good job on the car. It's handled great, drove great, run great, and so I think we'll win it today. I tell you, it's real stout, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed. Try to win today, and we'll try to win Sunday.
Big rise in temperature today over the rest of the week. Is that going to affect the handling?
Yeah, it probably will. I say the track's going to get slicker. It's been real cool all week, and today's first hot day, so we adjusted the car a little bit this morning, and I believe we'll be okay.
Well, good luck, and thanks very much. And back to Ken Squire with the starting grid for the first of the 125-mile qualifying heat.
In row one and on the pole for the Daytona 500 this year, Dale Jarrett, alongside defending Daytona 500 champion Sterling Marlin. In row two, it's Terry Labonte and Michael Waltrip. Row three is a five-time 125-mile winner, Darrell Waltrip and Kyle Petty. Row four is newcomer Davy Jones and Rusty Wallace. Row 5, Jeff Purvis from Tennessee and Missouri's Ken Schrader. Row 6 is Steve Grissom and Mike Wallace. For row 7, Dick Trickle and Dave Marcus making his 27th 125-mile start. In row 8, it's Bobby Hillen and Richie Petty. Row 9 is Jeff Bodine and Jeremy Mayfield. For row 10, Bobby Hamilton and Kenny Wallace. Row 11, 14-time sprint car champion Steve Kinzer and Shauna Robinson. In row 12, it's Kerry Teague and Gary Bradbury. Row 13, Kenny Bouchard and Joe Ruttman. Row 14, Ward Burton and Joe Nemechek. For the 15th row, Brett Bodine and Doug Heveron. And rounding out the field, row 16, Del McCowart, and making his first Daytona effort, Bob Strait. Field in turn 4, and approaching for the start of the first 125-mile, 50-lap race. Top 14, excluding Dale Jarrett, qualified for the Daytona 500 from this event. Terry Labonte set the mark at nearly 190 miles an hour back in '89. Kinzer in the Bernstein number 26 after spinning in practice a day ago, relegated to last spot. He's pulled out. He entered another car, so he has to start in the rear back there with Bob Strait.
And that is a NASCAR rule. If you bring out a backup car, you have to start in the rear. It has no effect on his qualifying speed.
Packed house for the 125-mile qualifiers. 1993 winner Dale Jarrett brings them down. A couple of laps to get to speed. Jarrett jumps out in front into the 31-degree banking for the first time.
And for the first time with a new setup under the race car that he hasn't tried before, so I'm sure he's going to turn 3 a little bit anxious.
They made a lot of changes on that pole car. There's 17. Waltrip making a run. Jarrett out in front. They changed the springs. What else did they change on 28 this morning?
Sway bar and some of the shock absorbers.
You see Sterling Marlin deployed second, riding in third, Terry Labonte. Former winner in this event in a 125-miler. Rusty Wallace even with Michael Waltrip in the yellow number 30. First lap, approaching the line to complete it. And it will be Jarrett in first, Marlin in second, Labonte in third. Waltrip is there. Kyle Petty right up in the front of the hunt. Fifth spot. Front five trying to break away. Rusty Wallace back in the car number 2 trying to close on this quintet. Marlin to the inside. Eases back on that Morgan McClure car. There you're riding with him. And now they're at full speed at over 190 miles an hour. Approaching pass for the lead.
Terry Labonte pulled up behind Sterling Marlin, and they just drive right on by Jarrett going into the turn. Here comes Darrell Waltrip down on the inside. He'll make the pass as well.
Darrell Waltrip having a very good Daytona 500 Speed Weeks effort. 5-time winner in the 125s. Pulls himself up another notch to third. Kyle Petty fourth. Rusty Wallace. Big aspirations for this race. Line fifth. Dale Jarrett, handful right there, Ned.
Yes, he did have a handful with cars underneath him, and getting a lot of air off of them makes the cars jump around.
Drops back Jeff Purvis in the 44. Tennessee driver beneath him and shooting through. Marlin stays in front. There you see Terry Labonte in third and Waltrip having a great run in third spot.
No surprise that Sterling Marlin would be up front, but Michael Waltrip, who started up near the front, has dropped way back in the field. His Pontiac was very fast here in practice and in qualifying, but Michael dropped back to about 10th position.
Started in fourth, he has fallen to 10th, and that was the lead Pontiac among them here. Looking further back in the field, and there you see that yellow number 30. Just in front of them, Dale Jarrett. He will still start from the pole in the 500. This is a good test bed for Jarrett as well as for Earnhardt. And look at the 77, the white number 77. That's Davy Jones, road racing expert. Several Indianapolis cars start. Switching, going to run the entire series this year. Try for Rookie of the Year in the Winston Cup standings. Back with the leaders. And it's still Sterling Marlin pacing them down into turn number 1 with Terry Labonte in that Hendrick car looking very stout in second place.
Yes, very strong. I think a lot of people are predicting him to be a major threat for the championship this year and also for the Daytona 500. Here's Kyle Petty coming up on the outside of Darrell Waltrip. That's a bold move up on the outside. See if he can get any help. They're running side by side. Here's Ken Schrader behind Rusty Wallace.
Wobble on Waltrip there as he came into 3. That Pontiac up on the outside looking strong for Kyle Petty in the early going of his first 125-mile qualifying race for the 36th annual Daytona 500.
And Ken, as those cars run side by side, you can see the front 2 cars beginning to pull away. Now they single out a little bit. Waltrip dropping back a little bit. He got in a similar situation to what Dale Jarrett did. No help down there for somebody to push him on through, and those cars are just driving by him on the outside.
Meanwhile, you see the 29 there for a moment of Steve Grissom, the sophomore Alabama, having a very good ride, pulling himself up through the field. Grissom in the 29.
Drafting is so important. Here's Darrell Waltrip battling 460, still down on the inside. Now here comes Jarrett and Michael Waltrip. Now Mike Wallace pulls out behind Waltrip. He picks up his draft and is able to move around the car number 25 of Steve Grissom. And here's Jarrett going on the inside. Michael Waltrip following him through.
A report from Mike Joy.
And that draft is just what put Michael Waltrip back to 11th place. Their crew says there's nothing wrong with the car, but he was behind Dale Jarrett, got shuffled back in the draft. They're going to ride for a while and see how this plays out, and then try to make a move toward the front. The car is okay.
Look at the momentum that Jeff Purvis picked up with those 2 cars running side by side. He drove by both of them going into turn 3. Now Steve Grissom gets a little help from the 43 car of Bobby Hamilton, and
Dick Trickle back there giving him a little assistance.
yeah, he's in the car number 15.
Dick Trickle's race cam giving you these pictures from the Budmore Engineering car, pulling up on number 30, Michael Waltrip. Tight run down through there.
I was hoping Michael knew he was out there.
Showing 7 laps complete of 50 to be run. Dick Trickle giving you these pictures, and they're back around Jeff Purvis in the 44. going much further back in the field now. There you see, that's Brett Bodine up in the Junior Johnson, number 11, going around Doug Heveron. They're fighting back in the 25th position.
That's Gary Bradbury in car number 52, the Jimmy Means car, right out in front of them.
Down to the inside, sweeping Bobby Hill in number 20. Whoa, he almost had it on the apron.
That was a similar move to what we saw Mark Martin make in the Busch Clash. And Mark didn't get by with it, Bobby did.
Caution out. Caution coming out as they come down by. Completing 8. Yellow is out around the track. Car number 26 has blown. That's the Kinzer car. Steve Kinzer, Bloomington, Indiana, will have to hope for a provisional berth to make it into the 500. Back in a moment. Tomorrow, 12 o'clock Eastern, right here on CBS. Join us for our live coverage of the 36th Annual Daytona 500. Here in the Gatorade Twin 125, Sterling Marlin just in front of Terry Labonte, Kyle Petty, Wallace and Schrader making up the top 5. Then Darrell having a good run up in 6. Mike Wallace, Dale Jarrett getting ready for a go, and the Pontiac pace car drops off. Looks like it's going to be a battle at the start between Labonte and Sterling Marlin. And we're back under green.
And we'll see how that negotiation came out. But I expect Terry will stay back there and try to draft with Marlin and hope they can.
Waltrip at the 17 takes a shot immediately. Richie Petty running very slowly on the track on that start. Came across the start-finish line, and I believe he's going to pull off down here in turn number 1, running very slowly. Dale Jarrett giving you these exciting pictures. He closes and goes by Mike Wallace. Take a look at that telemetry as the speed climbs on Dale Jarrett's car number 28. It's won a 125-mile qualifier, that number in this team on 2 previous occasions. Davey Allison did it for them once and Ernie Irvin once. Coming by to complete a lap, and you still have Sterling Marlin in the lead. Terry Labonte holding right on in 2nd place. Kyle Petty maintaining 3rd. And Schrader looks like he wants to mix it up in this thing a little.
That is no surprise. He loves to run up front, loves to win.
From Dick Trickle's view, see Steve Grissom up on the outside, Mike Wallace just in front.
Yeah, the 3 Fords teamed up together. Jarrett's right in front of Mike Wallace, and now Trickle in his Ford has hooked onto them, trying to go by the Steve Grissom car.
9th, 10th, and 11th positions there. First 125-miler stays stable up in front. Back to the line they come.
6 cars out in the lead draft, running single file.
Schrader back in the 6th, up in 5th. It is Waltrip. 4th is Wallace. 3rd is Petty. 2nd, Labonte, and Marlin leads the pack. And then look at this game.
And here's Ken Schrader going by Darrell Waltrip on the outside, taking over the 5th position.
Nips another. The pesky Schrader continuing to move through the field.
Steve Wallace running 4th. He's the first of the 4 drivers. A lot of speculation coming into Speed Weeks here at Daytona about the new Monte Carlo Chevrolet. What kind of a race car would it be? I think they've proven already in qualifying, in the Busch Clash, and then already here today that it's going to be a good race car. We've got 2 of them out front, and Pontiac and Kyle Petty running 3rd.
Chevrolet Monte Carlo won, as you saw on CBS, the Busch Clash. I don't know if that counts as a full Winston Cup event.
No,
Monte Carlo has 199 wins. If they win here in this event, that would get the number up to 200. Sterling Marlin giving us this shot at 2nd place. Terry Labonte closing in the back straightaway. Long time to think back there, Ned.
Oh, yes. Even though they get there quickly, they approach 200 miles an hour going into turn 3. Still, it's time for them to think.
Out to the wall, and back comes Labonte chasing Marlin.
Those 6 cars now, after Schrader made his move, moving into 5th, seem content to run in single file. Well, now Darrell Walker, maybe he has some ideas. He's pulling down on the inside as Schrader goes high. In fact, Schrader's going high to try to move around Rusty Wallace. He made that move on Darrell Waltrip. Can he pull it off on Rusty?
Wallace pitches him just a little.
And Darrell Waltrip comes on the inside of Schrader, so that's going to kill Schrader's chances of making a pass. In fact, he's losing the position.
Meanwhile, the second group closes up, led by Dale Jarrett. He's in 7th. Mike Wallace in 8th. Dick Trickle in 9th. Steve Grissom 10th. Jeff Purvis 11th. Michael Waltrip 12th. Davy Jones, the rookie, having a good ride in the 77, back in 13th.
Waltrip sort of caught down on the inside. Let's see one. Now Jarrett has caught him. He's going to follow Schrader, it looks like. And that'll shuffle Waltrip back a little bit farther.
Got an average speed of over 190 miles per hour on that last lap. And look at Dale Jarrett wrestling that car into the back straightaway.
Riding the steering wheel. Everyone has said the problems that they are having getting the car set up right is coming off of turn 2. The car is the shortest turn on the Speedway here, and it's tough to get set up for. Now turn 3 and 4, it's a longer sweeping type turn. Doesn't bind the car down quite as much.
Jarrett is closing in on Schrader. Leader continues to be Sterling Marlin first, Terry Labonte second, Kyle Petty third, Rusty Wallace fourth, Schrader to 5th, Jarrett to 6th, Waltrip falls to 7th. Take a look at this scramble. There is Joe Rutman leading that group. Right behind him, Jeremy Mayfield in the number 98 and the number 31, Ward Burton and Bobby Hamilton. Remember the last time we had a Hamilton in a Petty car? Won the Daytona 500 back in 1970. That was Pete Hamilton.
No relation.
No relation. One of those damn Yankees.
Hey, Bobby makes a good move there in the Richard Petty car. Joe Rutman goes right with him. All these guys are trying to get up there in the top 15 positions. That is their mission and their goal.
And that's the battle for the bubble right now. Hamilton is in 15th. The number 80, Rutland, right with him in Mayfield. Make or break situation in that part of the pack. Meanwhile, for the front, Sterling Marlin steady out there in first place. And Terry Labonte, who's finished second twice in the 500. Mr. Consistency in the past several years, hanging right on. Further back in the field, see Rusty Wallace coming by. That's your 5th place car. And right with him comes Dale Jarrett in the 28 and 6, driving that Robert Yates car.
4 cars are broken away. Rusty Wallace running 5th and Jarrett in 6th. And those 4 cars up front, the 3 Chevrolets and Kyle Petty, have pulled away. Now Kyle wants to do a little bit of racing. Pulling down on the inside, taking over second from Terry Labonte.
Fine performance by the Kyle Petty Pontiac up into second. This report from David Hobbs.
Hi, I'm with Paul Andrews in Jeff Bodine's pit. What's wrong with Jeff this afternoon? He's slipping right to the back.
Well, we kind of lost the draft there. Now we can't really run along. You know, we're kind of hoping we can get a little caution here, actually, and get caught back up. We'll just have to see.
Is your speed going to be all right to get you in the race?
It'll be marginal. We might, you know, depends on what happens up in the front and with the rest of the pack, but the front runners, we'll have to see from there.
Well, good luck in the race, Paul. Not the way you want to start the season off at Daytona. Ken?
There you see that 7 car that had such high hopes, the 86 champion in this race. Jeff Bodine having his problems. Remember when they restarted, he was 23rd. He's fallen to 24th. Looking back from leader Sterling Marlin to Kyle Petty, lurking in second. Later this afternoon, Big East Showdown. Villanova rated 15th in the country against number 1 Connecticut. That's 3:45 this afternoon here on CBS. At Daytona, it's Marlin, Schrader, Kyle Petty, Labonte, the front 4. And here comes Jarrett along with Waltrip beneath Wallace for 5th.
Jarrett had been following Wallace there for a while, and maybe he figured that he could pull them a little bit faster. Those front 4 cars had begun to get away a little bit, so Darrell Waltrip goes with Dale Jarrett and makes the pass. So see if Jarrett can pull him faster than Rusty Wallace.
That puts Waltrip into 6th. Leaves Rusty Wallace back in 7th for the moment. Up in front, Marlin leading, Schrader in 2nd and trying to close in, and there's the interval. As you look at it, out of the back of Sterling Marlin's Chevrolet to the Chevy of Ken Schrader, now 2nd, the Pontiac of Kyle Petty in 3rd, then the Chevy of Terry Labonte 4th, and the first Ford is 5th place, Dale Jarrett.
A little surprising that one car would be able to pull away a little bit, break away, because normally on these tracks where they run the restrictor plates on the engines and the drafting plays such a major part, it's surprising to see one pull away. But Sterling Marlin, he was very confident when David Hobbs interviewed him before the race that he could win this thing, and by golly, he's pulling away.
Well, as you look at the running order, after the first 25 laps, Griffin up in there. Dick Trickle is still in the spot to qualify. Mike Wallace, Bobby Hamilton. There's the man on the bubble, Joe Rutten. Michael Waltrip has made the show at halfway. There's the group just outside. Ward Burton, Davy Jones, Dave Marcus struggling to get in here. Jeremy Mayfield in the Cale Yarborough car. Side-by-side racing going on.
Well, Darrell Waltrip.
Fifth, and Waltrip shot through.
Yeah, Waltrip shot through, and Rusty Wallace came with him, moved Jarrett back to the 7th position.
You surprised about how effective these Chevrolets are? First time we've seen the new Monte Carlo, Ned?
Not really. When you look at that race car and also take into consideration the homework that Chevrolet did and all the teams for more than a year now, they've been working on that race car, and they came out here with a very good race car. A lot of speculation as to how it really would be, but no big surprise that it is doing well.
If you're just joining us, temperatures have climbed into the 80s today, and the Monte Carlos seem to be enjoying it just fine in this Daytona weather, with Sterling Marlin leading, Ken Schrader in second, Labonte in fourth, now Waltrip in fifth. Breaking up that Chevy organization in front is the Pontiac of Kyle Petty in third. Average speed stays at about 152 miles an hour. There's no record here. You've got to go green all the way to get close to the mark that was established back in 1989. They averaged 189.5 miles an hour for 125 miles of racing. Give that record to Terry Labonte. There's 67, Ken Bouchard out of Pittsburgh, Massachusetts, slowing. Del McCoward also getting picked up. Leaders into some back markers here. And take a look at Schrader, who is coming on the outside. Ken Schrader's going for it. That big lead evaporates. It's down to about one car length, by which Sterling Marlin leads Schrader going into turn one.
When Marlin made the move to go low under Del McCowart, that was a mistake as far as his speed was concerned, because he had to turn the car left, scrub some speed off, and that gave Schrader the run that he made there and ran right up on him.
Ken Schrader having a great 1995 Daytona Speed Weeks. He's already had a winner as an owner in the Automobile Racing Club of America's 200-miler. Andy Hillenberg gave him that. Let's go to Mike Joy.
Ken Howes is Schrader's crew chief. And Ken, are you surprised it's taken everybody so long to pull down on that 4-car?
Yeah, that 4-car is always tough here. You know they can run here, and I'm just pretty happy that we look like we can keep up.
They're keeping up pretty well right now. What has Kenny said on the radio? Can he overtake him?
It's a little early to try yet. We're just trying to get close enough to have a shot. We might get close enough, and let's see what happens.
Well, you can tell that Kenny Howe is not one of the good old Southern boys as a crew chief on the car, but he's a tremendous individual, has a lot of talent.
Certainly does. And look, almost feels like Schrader may be toying with that 4-car for the moment. What do you think?
I don't know. The 4-car, Sterling Marlin has pulled out a little bit again after Schrader ran up so close, and I think if Schrader could, that he would stay right on his back bumper.
A wonderful racing character named Runt Pittman. Those are the engines in that car number 4, and if you are blessed with him as an engine builder, you are truly blessed in this sport.
He knows how to pack horsepower into one.
Yep, sandwiches him right in there. Take a look a little further back at Terry Labonte. Goes up to the outside on Kyle Petty and makes the move.
Yeah, made a good move there on the high side. Kyle couldn't do much about it, so he'll fall in behind Labonte there. It seems like Terry's car maybe had gotten a little bit loose, but he found a place up there on the high side of the track maybe that would run, and we'll see if he continues to do that. Yeah, he's going up high once again, so he might have found himself something there that will help his Chevrolet.
He's one that likes to experiment with these tracks. He will run everywhere. Reminds you a lot of Harry Gant. And he has closed some ground. Terry Labonte doing what he does best, the Iceman. So cool, so methodical. Trying to close back up on Schrader. Remember, he ran the first portion of this race right there in second spot. And look at that high line. Just grabs hold of that handrail and pulls himself down off turn 2. Laps average a little over 109. Excuse me, Ned.
Now, Bobby Hillen has moved up into the 15th position on the bubble, has moved Joe Ruttman back to 16th.
you see how the front four are deployed, and now you've got two of them trying the high side. There is Bobby Hill in that Moroso car around Kenny Bouchard off the pace. Closing up on Joe Nemechek in his new colors.
Nemechek definitely has to finish in the top 15 in this race or he will go home. His speed will not get him in the race. He has a new team, and he has no points to fall back on as far as a provisional is concerned.
14th place Nemechek. Getting shot down here by Bobby Hill on the inside, but not without giving it a good, strong fight. Nemechek with his own team this year comes right back on the outside. Bet those spotters are saying to him, you've got to get your boot in it and do it now.
Yes, sir. He can't afford to lose any other time, and Hillen loses it. Down on the inside, the back end just simply got away from him. He stays down on the inside.
Pull the air off the spoiler, and away goes Bobby Hillen on that brand new paved area as you came out of turn 2, racing back to the line. Caution coming out. Bobby Hillen out of Midland, Texas, flat spotting a set of tires. He'll have to come in, and he has to get out here and go racing. He needs to have a good finish to assure himself a place in the Daytona 500. We'll be back with more in a moment. The Bud One Airship, aerial ambassador of the King of Beers, providing these beauty shots of the Daytona International Speedway. And from the blimp, let's review the plight of Bobby Hillen out here in turn 2.
Here's the 20 car of Bobby Hillen down on the inside, Joe Nemechek and car number 87 up on the outside, and the car number 80 of Joe Ruttman right here. He's taking a little bit of air off the spoiler of Hillen's car. Now, as Hillen gets a little bit deeper into the turn, we'll move it forward, and you can see the back end of the car start to move up a little bit, and there's not a great deal that he can do about it. The air comes off the spoiler, and it goes around, maybe touches the car number 87 just a little bit, not enough to hurt. Ruttman very alertly goes to the high side of the racetrack. He gets by, and Hillen keeps it on the asphalt, does not slide back up on the track, and the asphalt there scrubs off the speed. He doesn't hit anything.
Now, with this caution, several cars have stayed on the track, and it has changed the leaderboard dramatically. A great race among those top guys to get back out there. But Schrader stayed on the track, and he stays first. For that matter, Grissom, Marcus, Bodine, and Robinson, they elected not to pit and take on new tires. Back in 6 is Kyle Petty, 7 Sterling Marlin, 8 Darrell Waltrip. They all came in for new rubber, and it poses a question here about strategy as we go back to green. Ned, is this good strategy for Ken Schrader up in front, not to come in and take on rubber?
Well, it really isn't that bad. It's somewhat of a gamble, knowing that those drivers took on the new tires back there, but they got all of those cars between them. They got to pass those before they get to him. They're going to wear a lot of that new off those tires before they get up to him.
And you can see a maneuver immediately. It looks like Kyle Petty trying to jam up the outside, goes way to the wall, and he comes on. Here comes Sterling Marlin moving through, and 17 Waltrip right there with Kyle Petty, and here's Sterling Marlin trying to pull him down into turn 3.
And look how they went around Jeff Bodine in the car number 7. Jeff did not pit, had on the older, hotter tires. I think this can make a big difference.
Time running out of the first 125-mile qualifier. Got one car almost on the wall. Looked like it was grazing it as it came down out of turn number 4. And to the line goes the car number 68 that started well out in the back. That was Bob Strait. I thought he had it on, but he did not. Schrader stays up in front. And again, the high side of the racetrack seems to be the trick here out of turn number 2. Where they hauling the nail. Grissom in second, out of the outside, Sterling Marlin. Small piece of debris down here. It looks like it's right near the start-finish line. Back comes the field. To the inside, going for first place. And Sterling Marlin pulls himself right back up into the lead. Schrader in second. Dave Marcus maintaining that third position. People that change tires, leading that assault upon that group of 6 that elected not to. And Marlin has worked his way right back through the field. Steve Grissom stays up in there looking strong for the moment.
Has a new crew chief this year, Buddy Parrott, who was crew chief for Rusty Wallace, who is going by Steve Grissom there right now.
Kyle Petty looking underneath Grissom. Dale Jarrett.
He's trying to climb. Ooh, Terry Labonte got awfully close to him. Jarrett is following Joe Nemechek there.
And Kyle Petty's just on the inside of Nemechek. Kyle Petty back there in 7th. Nemechek in 8th. Just in front of Jarrett, charging back up through.
And they're losing ground, too, as they run side by side, all of these cars. Here comes Michael Waltrip on the inside of Jarrett. Jarrett got hung up behind Nemechek out there. Nemechek does not have new tires on, and that's going to cost him a little bit of speed.
The veteran Dave Marcus, who's twice won a 125-miler, up on the outside. From behind, Dale Jarrett's car.
That's Jeff Purvis in the car number 44.
And there's Michael Waltrip in the number 30 trying to slide into the picture.
Right.
8 laps to go. Up in front, Marlin showing a lot of authority in this first 125-mile qualifier. But back here, wide open for those other spots to claim a starting position in the 36th annual Daytona 500. Rusty Wallace moves down on the bottom, and I must say that performance by Dave Marcus today is something. Look at that.
Ooh.
How about Kyle Petty in the middle?
Yeah, Kyle backed out.
Labonte on the outside. Jarrett down low.
Jarrett forgot what he said at the top of the show, said we want to start this car in the Daytona 500. If he wrecks this car, he'd have to start in the back of the pack in the Daytona 500. His guaranteed starting position in the field is okay, but not necessarily up front. It has to be his race car.
Well, he almost got both sides swiped on that one. Here's Mike Joy.
Well, a lot of smiles in the 4-car pit as Sterling Marlin pulls away, and a lot of it's because of this man, Runt Pittman. Runt, he's walking away. What have you got under the hood of that thing?
Got a Chevrolet motor in it.
Yeah, and what have you done to it? We worked on it. This winter specifically. What have you found?
We just got a good combination, and all seems to work pretty good. I guess it does.
Yeah, I would say so. Runt's engines always run well here and everywhere, really.
But look at Waltrip, too, Ned. I mean, what a great run for Waltrip. It's been a long time since we've seen him fly like this.
He came to Daytona with a lot of enthusiasm this year.
Waltrip up to 2nd, Schrader back to 3rd, Wallace goes to 4th. And into 5th comes Dale Jarrett, Kyle Petty back to 6th, Terry Labonte 7th, Dave Marcus staying 8th. 9th is Michael Waltrip, Nemechek 10th, followed by Grissom, Ruttman, Purvis, Trickle, and back in 15th is Ward Burton's number 31. Waltrip closing up. You've got Chevrolet Monte Carlos running 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Rusty Wallace and Dale Jarrett 4th and 5th in Fords.
And you can see the new tires, not having new tires, are hurting Schrader. He's dropped back. Those front 2 cars are pulling away from him. He's able to stay ahead of Rusty Wallace right now. But I think if he had the new tires, I think he would be in better shape.
See that? The 9 car on Nemechek for the moment. Really close. Showing Jeremy Mayfield now into 15th position on the bubble in the Cale Yarborough car. Laps running out. 45 complete. 5 to go. 4.5 from here. And stretching out a lead right now is Sterling Marlin, defending Daytona 500-mile champion. 17 years of effort, and it all came home a year ago in the Great American Race for Columbia, Tennessee's Marlin. Waltrip, the 89 Daytona 500-mile winner. 5 car lengths back.
And boy, is there a scramble back there for that 14th position, Ken. We see them coming off of turn 4 there. Right there it is Bobby Hamilton trying to move up through the pack. Jeremy Mayfield is the man right now in 15th position. Hamilton trying to take that position away.
In 16th, Hamilton right there with him. Jeff Purvis is in there in 17th. Bodine back there in 18th. Bobby Hillen back to 19th. That is the struggle. Leader and continuing to draw away. Battle for 3rd spot here. To the line, car number 25. Schrader has it for the moment. Wallace trying to take it away inside and then move back into a
Jarrett went by, Jarrett went by on the outside of Wallace coming off of turn 4. A similar move to what he made on Jeff Gordon a few years ago in the Daytona 500, and it worked for him.
In 15th, Jeremy Mayfield, number 43, Hamilton, and up to 16th, Grissom. Mayfield has gone to 14th. Dale Jarrett storming back through the field in the number 28 Ford, up to third spot now.
That's his best finishing position ever in one of these qualifying races. He finished third in 1993 when he won the Daytona 500.
Back to that bubble battle, and look at this struggle.
This is going to be some kind of a finish as far as these drivers are concerned, as who's going to get in the Daytona 500. I'm not sure that any of their speeds will get them in the race.
Hamilton in the 43 has that 15th position. Struggling is Jeremy Mayfield at the present time. Hamilton in the 43.
And that's the 7-time champion Richard Petty's car. On the inside, the car number 98, 3-time NASCAR Winston Cup champion Cale Yarborough owns that car.
Battle continuing further up. Coming to the line as the time begins to run out on this one. White flag coming out this time by. And it still stays Sterling Marlin first. Darrell Waltrip in second. Last lap. Anything left from Darrell Waltrip to close on Sterling Marlin? Looks a little doubtful here, Ned.
It looks doubtful. I think he's too far back to make any kind of move right now.
But he's coming.
He'll try, you can rest assured, but I think he has too much real estate between him and the 4 car.
And then there's a lot of real estate. About half a second back to Dale Jarrett third, Rusty Wallace fourth. Closing down the first 125-mile qualifier. Sterling Marlin coming to the line in car number 4. And he's going to take this one home.
And here's the battle for third as Jarrett gets in. And then a little on the back, this pack of cars that we see coming into the screen right now, that's the battle for the positions in the Daytona 500. And the 43 of Bobby Hamilton, I think he got it.
As did Joe Ruttman, and I think Joe Nemechek. Jeremy Mayfield will check them all for you shortly. But there's your winner, beginning right where he left off last year, defending 500 champion Sterling Marlin.
This CBS Sports Special, the Gatorade Twin 125's, is sponsored by Gatorade Thirst Quencher, the official sports beverage of NASCAR. Hey, life is a sport. Drink it up. Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
After 15 years of effort and a couple of second-place finishes, Sterling Marlin wins a 125. Waltrip, Jarrett, Rusty Wallace, Ken Schrader in the top 5. A little further back, Terry Lamonti, Kyle Petty, Michael Waltrip, Dick Trickle, Dave Marcus, and back where the struggle was on, Ward Burton, Joe Nemechek, Bobby Hamilton the 13th, Joe Ruttman 14th, Jeremy Mayfield 15th. Just how hard were they trying to qualify? Well, take a look at this. This was the coming down to the white flag. There you see Bobby Hamilton up on the outside, Nemechek there. Slides right in between and keeps on flying to come home in 13th position. What a move by Bobby Hamilton as Joe Ruttman came by him.
Well, that was a great save, Ken. He could have wrecked several cars there, but he made it on back and gets in the Daytona 500.
Let's go to Mike Joy in victory lane.
Here's the brain trust of the winning team. Tony Glover's the crew chief, Runt Pittman, the engine builder. Sterling Marlin drove it home, and it looked easy from here.
Well, I tell you, with a team like this, these boys work so hard, and it makes it look easy. The car drove great. Runt's motors, they couldn't touch it. So I think we'll be in real good shape Sunday.
Runt, why does this car sound differently? It sounds more like a Ferrari than a Chevy when it goes by itself, which it was today.
Well, we might have carried it to Bob's muffler shop there at Abingdon to get it fixed.
Oh, let's go to David Hobbs.
Well, I'm with Dale Jarrett, who doesn't think that's quite so funny. Dale, you had a bit of a sinking spell in the middle but came on strong at the end. How did it run?
It got better. We were able to learn some things today, and that was important for us. We'd been pretty bad shape here the first of the week trying to get this car to draft, and I think we hit on something. We made an adjustment there on the pit stop that seemed to help the car, and so we'll fine-tune from there. But Chevrolet's look pretty strong. We just have to work.
It certainly did look strong, and at one time you were having a pretty hairy race out there, and a certain color commentator up in the booth was getting just a bit worried about what you'd said at the beginning of the race, that you wanted to race this car, not the backup.
Yeah, but I was in pretty good company around there. So when they went by me at the first, I didn't have any help and just wanted to settle in somewhere and then see what the car was doing. So wasn't too bad. It got a little bit tight at times, but I was in the best position.
A bit tight at times. Well, Ken, back to you with the starting lineup for the second 125-mile qualifying run here at Daytona.
On the front row, 7-time Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt, alongside the fleet freshman from Asheville, North Carolina, Robert Presley. In row 2, it's Bobby Labonte and Lake Speed. Row 3 is Phil Parsons and Morgan Shepherd. Row 4, the 23-year-old who won this race 2 years ago, Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin. For row 5, Todd Bodine and a 3-time winner in a 125-miler, Bill Elliott. Row 6 is Ricky Rudd and Ted Musgrave. Row 7, Derek Cope and John Andretti. Row 8's a couple of New Englanders, Ricky Craven and Randy LaJoy. Row 9, Jeff Burton and Phil Barkdahl is back. Row 10, Ben Hess and Chad Little. Row 11, Billy Stanbridge and Jim Sauter. For row 12, Steve Seligman and Mike Chase. Row 13, Loy Allen, last year's Daytona 500 pole sitter, and Jimmy Spencer. Row 14, Greg Sachs and Rick Mast. Row 15 from Canada, Randy McDonald. From Australia, Terry Byers. Rounding out the field, row 16, Ronnie Sanders, and the oldest driver in the field at 59, James Hilton. And again, the significance of this race, 14 will make it into the Daytona 500, excluding the front row qualifier Earnhardt. Then 8 more will come from previously run time trials. Finally, 4 provisional starters will fill out the 42-car field. There you see Rick Mast, and back in 32nd position, James Hilton, giving it one more shot, one more time. Pace car is in. We're ready for the second 125-mile qualifier. Taking the green, and it's Earnhardt shooting out in front of Robert Presley as they head for turn 1. And shooting down to the inside, coming up to second place, Bobby Labonte in car 18.
Yeah, he followed right on Dale Earnhardt's bumper there on the start, trying to get into that second position. Now Earnhardt's pulling away as Presley pulls back up on the outside of Labonte. That'll let Earnhardt pull away a little bit. They're too deep for about 4 rows there behind Earnhardt. Look at him span out on the backstretch. Everybody trying to draft on by. Labonte caught on down on the inside. Or in the middle, really.
Mark Martin's view. Closing in on Morgan Shepherd just in front. Down on the inside, Jeff Gordon.
Bobby Labonte still in the middle coming off of turn 4, and that's not where he wants to be. That is not a good position on this racetrack.
And Sachs in the black car making a move from down low up into the middle of the track, and still in a bundle as they come out. Jeff Gordon's race cam closes in on Mark Martin. Down on the inside, the 19 stays right with him of Phil Parsons.
Bobby Labonte went all the way back to 18th again before he could get out in line. He has a fast race car. I think he'll come back up through there, but look at Robert Presley. But here's Lake Speed coming up on the outside.
And out in front, the Melling car. It's been a while since that happened.
The Melling team is one Bill Elliott had so much success with back in the 80s.
Well, there's been some unique sponsors here. Lake Speed, they're calling his car the Spam Can. And right now, it's looking pretty good. Here comes 21, Morgan Shepherd. You can see him fight his way up into turn number 1. Morgan Shepherd put the Woods brothers back into the lead.
There's Mark Martin coming up. He looked high. Now he's going to size up Lake Speed. 3 Fords out front. A little different from what we saw in the first race. There were all Chevrolets up there, but here the Fords are taking over in this race.
And that trouble, smoke pouring off one car going down the back straightaway into turn 3.
It's Rick Mast in car number 1.
Just not having anyone.
Boy, he has had a tough time since he came to Daytona.
Caution out as they come back. Racing back to the line, and Morgan Shepherd will be there. It'll be Lake Speed in second. Bit of a surprise. Early in the going, first caution is out. Rick Nass has to rely on his time to try to make the 500. Back under green, second Gatorade 125. Jeff Gordon chasing Mark Martin.
Well, he might be content to ride there for a little bit. He's certainly right on his bumper, but they pulled away, opened up a little bit of distance, so he might just be content to do that. As it looks like James Hilton is going to call it a day, Ken, and he's going into the garage, so James Hilton will not be in the Daytona 500.
James Hilton finished third here back in 1967, 59 years young. Giving another try today and has retired the car back to the garage area. Rumble battle. How about this? See Ricky Craven coming right in there, fighting with Ricky Rudd. Battle for 15th. They swapped it around. In 15th now is the Concord, New Hampshire driver, Ricky Craven, Ricky Rudd just outside.
Phil Parsons in the car number 19 is going back, but Phil has a good enough speed to get him in the Daytona 500, even if he doesn't finish in the top 15 here.
Just in front of them, Chad Little, looking very good in that car, 97. For the moment, Craven in car 41 is 15th for the lead. Here's Martin being chased by the two-time winner last year in Winston Cup Racing, Pittsburgh, Indiana's Jeff Gordon.
And now Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott are beginning to close in a little bit on those front two. They got behind a little bit there as they were coming through some traffic, but they've lined up together now, and it looks like they might be closing in just a bit.
Ford and Chevy up in front, then Chevy and Ford in third and fourth. Then the 21 of Morgan Shepherd rides in fifth. John Andretti is doing a fine job. He's picked himself up. 9-7.
There's someone else who's done a good job. We saw him right at the right of the screen there is Bobby Labonte in the car number 18. He had dropped all the way back to 13th position when he got shuffled around there at the start of the race, but he has moved up. There he is in the car, Joe Gibbs, car number 18. Ted Musgrave in car number 16, Todd Bodine in 75. And look at Labonte. Boy, he got a run there with Garrett Cope right behind him in the car number 12. Going strong into turn 3.
Cope in the Bobby Allison number 12, assisting Bobby Labonte as he goes beneath Todd Bodine.
I understand that Earnhardt says his car is good in the corners, which is no surprise. It usually is, but says he's not getting any help on the straightaways because Bill Elliott's not close enough to him to do a lot of drafting. But right here is some good drafting going on. Derek Cope in car number 12 is doing a great job staying right on the back bumper of Bobby Labonte. Here's trouble on the front straightaway.
Going into turn number 1. Bad trouble. Jimmy Spencer's torn up in that one.
Loy Allen up there in car number 27.
And Billy Stanbridge in the 47. See tire marks down coming off the 18-degree tri-oval. The 27 of Loy Allen torn up in the nose. His speed should be strong enough to get him into the 500, but for Billy Standridge, the second caution of the race, very costly. He may not make it. And Jimmy Spencer in big trouble, too, unless they can get refired and get out here. But looks terminal for both Spencer and Standridge at this point.
Don't know what started. They got together. There's the white car of Billy Standridge, the number 47. Here's Spencer, the yellow car with pieces flying off of it, and the bright orange-looking car of Loy Allen, car number 27. He gets into it as well.
And so this second twin 125-mile Gatorade qualifying race has claimed at least 2 more victims. Over 20 drivers will not have starting positions in the 36th annual Daytona 500, and one of those will be Jimmy Spencer. Simply because one does well in these qualifying races does not necessarily mean a great day in the 500. Only 4 drivers have come through the 125s and 1 in the Great American Race. Tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern, live on CBS, the Daytona 500. From second place, Jeff Gordon. Looking at third place, Mark Martin off his rear bumper. And from Mark Martin looking up to Jeff Gordon, Earnhardt continuing to lead at this point in the race. Mark Martin at work.
He's a little fellow, but he's a strong fellow. He works out every day, at least 5 days a week.
And that's just not aerobics, that's hard stuff.
Oh, yes, yes. He's very, very strong.
And you need that these days.
A lot of physical strength needed in driving a race car. As we look at the running order after the halfway mark, these front 6 cars move away a little bit from the 7th place car.
See Craven back there in 15th, just in front of him, Ricky Rudd. So they would be in the show at the present time. But here are the guys that are making the headlines. Earnhardt and Gordon, first and second, Martin in third, Bill Elliott in fourth. And Bill Elliott is a very patient man. His father, George Elliott, he's a very patient man.
Yes.
Bill learned well.
Here's Robert Presley, who started on the outside pole in the car number 33, trying to pull up on the inside of Morgan Shepherd. That's Derek Koch in car number 12, the Bobby Allison car.
All of this for 9th position. Chad Little's number 97 getting into it now. Boy, Chad had bad trouble for a long time this week. 2 or 3 days, nothing worked well for him. Now look at the 33, Presley dropping back.
Yeah, he's going to have to get off that inside, Ken. That's not the best way to go here right now. The upper groove is the one that's working better right now, and he has no drafting help down there. He's just going to continue to slide back. But his speed will get him in the Daytona 500. He doesn't have to worry about a starting spot. He'll just be starting pretty far back.
Randy LaJoie comes up to 15th in the number 22 car, Craven to 14th, Chad Little to 13th, and Ricky Rudd up to 12th. Here are the leaders. Earnhardt and Gordon pacing themselves. 28 of 50 laps complete. No sense throwing any fastballs right here. You just want to stay in it and be consistent for a while. Look at Bobby Labonte going up on the outside.
Good move on the outside of Todd Bodine. Let's see if he can pull it off as he comes off of turn 4. Yep, he sure does. Let's go to the pits and Mike Joy.
Ray Avernham's driver, Jeff Gordon, hates to follow, and he's behind a guy, Dale Earnhardt, who hates to do anything but lead. Is he biding his time, or does he have anything for Earnhardt, right?
Well, we're doing the best we can, you know. I'll be glad when Jeff graduates, because Earnhardt takes him to school quite a bit. We're doing about all we can do right now. We're just playing around trying to get in shape for Sunday.
Okay. And trailing Earnhardt, they picked up a little bit of a push. Here's David Haas.
Along with Tony Gibson, Bill Elliott, crew chief, and Bill's having a tremendously strong run there just behind Mark Martin. How do you think the Fords are going to finally face this showdown?
Well, I think maybe if we stay together, we might be able to do something. You know, that 3 car is awful strong. It's going to be tough, but right now we're trying to stay in line and break away from that back pack. That way, when it comes down to the end of the race, there'll just be a few cars to contend with.
You didn't make any stops on that last yellow and change tires or gas up. You're all right?
Yeah. If we get another caution, you know, if the leaders come in, we'll definitely come in and get 4 tires. This racetrack is getting older, and it's hard to get a hold of it. So tires are really gumming up and getting slick. So it's going to be critical for tires.
Okay, thanks very much, Tony.
Flat tire on Robert Presley's number 33 on pit road.
Smart move in bringing it in, Ken. In the meantime, look up front here as Jeff Gordon making a move, and Bobby Labonte has passed every 3 cars on the outside. He's riding the high line once again, and he'll come up behind Earnhardt. Let's see if Gordon don't dip up there. Labonte might help Earnhardt keep the lead, and Earnhardt does keep the lead.
Bobby Labonte, the hot commodity right now, last couple of laps. He has pulled himself into the 3rd position, and he took the high side. Oh, we've got trouble going down into turn number 1. 1 car in the wall, bouncing. Started to come up off the ground, got it back, and plows down to a stop, and that is Chad Little. Chad Little's car. Did a complete spin, and he was doing so well. He had himself up in the qualifying spot.
Yeah, he was
Chad
in
Little
he was in 11th position, Ken, so he was in good shape as far as making the Daytona 500, but unfortunately, he'll have to rely on his speed now. He has no owner's points. Let's take a look at what happened. This yellow car, number 97, Chad Little, going along nicely right in front of Ricky Rudd. We'll move it forward now, and all at once we see the back end start to come out from under the car, and we'll stop it right there. And look, the tread of the tire has come off completely of his car. Of course, it sends him into a spin, but that's the first time that I remember seeing the tread come off of a tire. And, of course, he spins around. Rudd goes to the inside. The other cars get by. Little continues to spin, stays up next to the outside wall. Fortunately, no one else gets involved.
Mark Rippon's number 97, driven by Spokane, Washington's Chad Little, will not qualify for this year's Daytona 500. The Bud 1 airship and its eye in the sky camera proud to provide these pictures from more than 1,000 feet above the Daytona Speedway. We're coming back to a green flag condition on this restart. A lot of cars that did not pit up in front. Jim Sauter. Phil Barkdahl is back and running in second here, followed by Ronnie Sanders, John Andretti, and Bobby Labonte. Heavy hitters have been rambling up through the field. Bobby Labonte won for sure. Then Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Musgrave, Elliott, and Rudd rounding out the top 10.
Quite a story with Phil Barkdahl, coming off of a bout with cancer and out here now attempting to qualify for the Daytona 500.
Jeff Gordon got caught in the pits. Comes out of the top 10 as they get ready on a restart with Todd Bodine.
Yeah, Jeff had to back up a little bit. He made the wrong angle into his pits and had to back up before he could get out of them, and several people beat him.
David Hawes.
Well, John Andretti's lying fourth on the track at the moment, but on his pit stop, he unfortunately overshot his pit, so his car hasn't, in fact, been serviced. So he did not change tires and did not put gas on board. So we'll have to see how those older tires on John's car do in this last 15-lap dash.
3 wide into 3. And still there.
Bobby Labonte runs right up in there between them.
Thank goodness that's Jim Sauter on the outside in 72. Good, steady racer.
Yeah, he's a good, smart race driver.
Earnhardt back in front. Martin into second. Here comes Musgrave and Elliott. 3 and 4. Morgan Shepherd back to 5th. Didn't take long for them to sort out the Sauter-Sanders combination up in front.
But Bobby Labonte got caught up once again, and he's just heading backwards again. He just tried that high line that's been working so well for him, but the cars they were passing were up there, and he got boxed in, and he's back to about 10th place now.
36 complete. Earnhardt's in front. Can he win 6 125-mile qualifiers in a row? We're going to find out very shortly, folks. Here he is with Mark Martin. Attached right to the rear bumper, Ted Musgrave. Franklin, Wisconsin racer right there with him. Third, Elliott looking very stout in that 4th position. Then you see Morgan Shepherd, and moving back into this thing, Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, he came back up through there pretty good, and he made some good moves on the first lap or so after this green flag was reflown. And there he goes up on the outside of Morgan Shepherd, making still another good move.
No doubt about it. This 23-year-old really has the sense where to put it. Behind Elliott in car number 94. Sweeps up to the outside.
Bill Elliott. In case someone who benefited from this caution was Ted Musgrave. He's there in 3rd position now. He was sitting back there in 7th and had lost the draft of the front 6, but he's right there with them now as Gordon and Elliott run side by side.
They fight for 4th.
Yeah, yep. Gordon couldn't quite clear Elliott off turn 4. He might be able to get him off turn 2. Yep.
Todd Bodine's right in that, too. 75 car.
Well, Elliott, again, like we've seen before, caught down on the inside. Nobody drafting him. Today, the place to be is up on the outside.
Elliott getting pinned on the inside. Oh, and he gets a little nudge there. Touch and go from Craven in the 41.
There's 2 Jack Roush cars running 2nd and 3rd as we watch this battle between Bill Elliott and Ricky Craven, Bobby Labonte.
Coming back to the stripe. It's Earnhardt, Martin, Musgrave, Gordon, Bodine up there in front, and Craven is making his move. Ricky Craven up there fighting among the leaders for 6th spot, falls back 1. Look at Ricky Rudd coming on here with John Andretti as they move up on Morgan Shepherd in the 21. Still Earnhardt in front. Watching that rest of the field come on by. Craven on the outside of Labonte. That's for 7th. In 9th, John Andretti, and he has it hung out sideways in 3 and 4. Wild racing in this one. Back in 15th, currently is Phil Parsons. Burton is just in front of him.
That's Jeff Burton. Ward Burton earned a position in the first 125-mile qualifier, the brother.
Here's Mike Joy.
Richard Childress, car owner for Dale Earnhardt. Is he working hard or having fun out there?
Right now, the car's working real good. You know, we got the car pretty tight where it's real comfortable, and, you know, we're a little slower than what we want to be, but I think that's what you're going to have Sunday. We're just trying a Sunday setup.
Slower than you were, but you're a little faster than everybody else.
Well, right now, it's pretty good. Yeah.
A lot of laughing going on here so far.
So far, says Richard Childress. Mark Martin trying to take the laugh out of this one for the man who's won it 5 straight years, 7 in all in the 125s. Earnhardt up in front.
The two Roush cars have been split now by Jeff Gordon, so they couldn't work together so good in trying to team up on Earnhardt. But right now, Jeff Gordon looks like he's going to take the measure of Martin down on the inside.
And look at Todd Bodine come on, Ned, on the outside again in that 75 car. There he is, right up there beside Musgrave.
And here's probable Phil Barkdahl in car number 73.
Turn 2.
And another car gets involved. They simply couldn't see where they were going. That's Barkdahl there in car number 73. He's able to pull away, but I'm afraid too much damage is done.
I think the 72 car, Jimmy Sauter may have, there it is, Sauter's car. Right front torn up on car number 72 for Utica, Wisconsin's Jim Sauter. Pulls it off and brings it to a halt. 41 of 50 laps complete. It's going to be a shootout to decide the second 125. Get ready for a Big East showdown between number 15 graded Villanova and number 1 Connecticut next this afternoon here on CBS. Phil Barkdahl had his problems, and it's knocked out Phil Parsons. Let's take a look at what happened here. Coming out of turn number 2, here you see Parsons, and just in front of him Barkdahl, and away he went.
Yeah, the back end just got out from under him, Ken, as he came off of turn 2, and the smoke is just absolutely killing Phil Parsons there, but Phil stays right in line with him, still in no trouble whatsoever. He's coming up on him, makes a good move down to the inside, but here comes Greg Sachs, and he rams Parsons in the rear, and that's what started Parsons' problems. He got through the wreck. Now, Barkdahl comes down off the wall. Here's one car going by down the inside. That's Lake Speed, and then the car number 72 of Jim Sauter will come by and hit the outside wall. You saw the smoke there as he just hit that outside wall and did the damage to his car.
When they come around, 45 laps complete. Here are the standings at lap 44, and they haven't changed. Earnhardt, Gordon, Musgrave, Martin, Bodine up in front for a shootout. There will be 4 laps to go when they hit the line this time. Seven-time Winston Cup champion brings them down to the line, and we're ready to go for it here in the second 125. Final moments of this one. Earnhardt and Gordon away clean. Musgrave and Martin right there. Teammates in 3rd and 4th spot. Let's see if they'll lock up in a draft and try to put those 2 Fords around the Chevys. Chevy running 1st and 2nd. Earnhardt and Gordon. Tom Bodine coming to the inside now.
Yeah, he's going to want a piece of that action as well. He's an aggressive race driver. Relatively new in Winston Cup racing. Last year was his first full year. Bill Elliott right behind him. And here's Bobby Labonte riding that high line again. There's trouble.
1, 2, they're trying to collect them. They get them back.
You can't believe it. John Andretti was up on the wall. And it gets off and keeps going.
And there is no caution out.
That could have been a big wreck.
And look at the back end of Andretti's car. He's down to the inside in the Kranipus Haas car. Unbelievable. To see that one again, Ned. That,
I'll tell you, that was a heart stopper. Still jockey up front. Jeff Gordon looking for a way to go around. Dale Earnhardt, 6 cars now, pulled away. That little skirmish up off turn 4 the last time around has separated his first 6 cars from everybody else.
Earnhardt, Gordon, Musgrave, Martin, Todd Bodine, Bill Elliott. 6 cars running for the lead. Laps running out. Now's the time. Back in the 15th position is car number 40, Greg Sachs. And he's fighting with Morgan Shepherd trying to get a spot there. This is the story right now. Move on the outside by Martin and Musgrave. Countered by Earnhardt.
Earnhardt getting her low. That's his style here at Daytona. As he sort of drives where he thinks the car needs to go. Here's Bill Elliott trying to make a move up on the outside of Musgrave.
And Todd Bodine goes into 4th. Todd Bodine up to 4th spot at number 75. Just a couple to go now. Randy LaJoy in the car number 22. Looks like he's into the field.
Yeah, he just made a pass on Jeff Burton, who Burton was running in the 13th position, so that should, if he can hold on to that, he'll be up there in good shape.
For the lead. Coming down, white flag and 1 lap to go. Earnhardt first. Gordon is second. Cross the line. Bubble car right now is the 21 car of Morgan Shepherd. Burton up to 14th. Just behind this number 8 is Shepherd, who is on the bubble. There's the 21 car. It's found its way. Just behind him is Greg Sachs trying to get in. Leaders in the back straightaway. And Earnhardt puts his foot down. He pulls out a couple of car length advantage. Now Martin locks up with Jeff Gordon and comes back up on number 3 Earnhardt.
But Earnhardt will make that car awfully wide coming off the turn 4. I don't think they'll be able to do anything with him. Gordon's going to try it on the outside, but he'll come up short.
Earnhardt to the inside, Gordon to the outside. It's Earnhardt 6th straight in the 125-mile qualifier. Dale Earnhardt's done it again. Won the Clash. Won the 125s. But can he win the Great American Race?
We'll find out Sunday afternoon right here on CBS.
And so Dale Earnhardt collects his 25th career win here at Daytona in this 125-mile qualifier with Gordon, Martin, Todd Bodine, and Bill Elliott rounding out the top 5. Further back, Musgrave, Ricky Craven, the rookie, 7th, Lake Speed, 8th, Ricky Rudd, 9th, and Bobby Labonte, 10th. And finishing up the qualifying for the 500, Derek Cope was 11th, Randy LaJoy, 12th, Ben Hess, 13th, Jeff Burton, 14th, and Morgan Shepherd, 15th. Ned, let's look again at that finish between Earnhardt and Gordon.
Well, Earnhardt dipped down to the inside. Gordon was trying to make a move on the outside, but he simply did not have enough speed, and Earnhardt comes on to victory.
His 6th in a row, his 8th in the 125s. Let's go to Mike Joy, standing by with our winner, Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt and his most trusted advisor here, Taylor Nicole. 6 125-mile races in a row. You kind of put him to sleep today.
Well, we really appreciate everything Gatorade does for the NASCAR Winston Cup racing, and Chevrolet done a great job with this Monte Carlo. She just keeps on winning, and Richard and Terry Oldridge and Spinnacle and all the guys at the shop did so much hard work on this car. The paint and body guys, everybody, they just worked hard and got us down here, and you know, it just from the start of this Monte Carlo, the first time Neil Bonnet tested it to now, I think this is going to be a good race car. It's proven itself out well.
It was perfect for qualifying Saturday, and it was really strong today. But tell me, what differentiates Thursdays from Sundays around here?
Well, Thursdays is a little more race than just going for it type thing like the Busch Clash or qualifying, but this is more like the 500. I feel like we can race like we were all day long. We were comfortable. We got the car on balance, and we worked hard to do that. We weren't really comfortable right up to yesterday. We even changed engines, put the Busch Clash motor in this car, and that ran good all day. So it's just a combination of things you got to keep working on, Mike, and then you come down to the 500, you got a lot of work to do. We got 2 more days. We got to tune another engine and get this car ready for the 500 and do this 500 miles. We'll be happy.
Well, thanks, Mike. If they gave points in these races for saves, John Andretti would be declared the winner hands down in this car 37. Take a look At turn 4, in all of this traffic, what happened to Indianapolis, Indiana's Andretti?
Okay, here's Andretti in the white car on the outside. Here's Ricky Craven coming up on the inside. Now we'll move it forward a little bit, and we'll see Craven come up. We'll stop it right there, and that's where Craven gets into Andretti. Now we'll move it on, and we'll see what happens as a result of the contact they made. Andretti is knocked out to the wall, gets up on the wall, comes back down. Morgan Shepherd back behind him, he comes back up into the wall again, and Bobby Labonte in the green car. Both of them do a great job of getting slowed down, staying off of Andretti, but everybody else gets by on the inside. That could have been a nasty wreck.
A miraculous double save by John Andretti in the Gatorade 125's. Let's go down to David Hobbs.
Well, I'm with John Andretti, driver of the 37 car. You had one of the hairiest moments that Ken Squire's ever seen coming off turn 4. Tell us about it.
Well, it was a little unfortunate. We were coming to the end of the race, and the guy got in the backside of me really hard and sent me into the wall, and I tried staying with it, and I got into it even harder, I think, then, and got the right front tire and a couple other things, and we were out of the race. It's real unfortunate for Kmart and Little Caesars, but it looks like we're in the 500, so that's the important thing. We just don't have the car we want, really, right now.
Well, he's starting 38th on Sunday. Good luck, John Andretti, and back to you, Ken.
And when we come back, the entire starting grid for the 1995 Daytona 500.
This CBS Sports Special, the Gatorade Twin 125's, is sponsored by Gatorade Thirst Quencher, the official sports beverage of NASCAR. The totally new Ford Contour, a world car for the 21st century. And by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true, this Bud's for you.
All is in readiness for the 37th annual Daytona 500. Everything seems to be working out for a great race, 42 strong. And we have something a little different here. Talk about an eye in the sky. There's the new CBS Flying Cam. We hope to bring you a new angle on pit road activity and some other highlights from the race like you've never seen it before. Well, when you get down to the beginning of the 500, it's all over. All that talk, all these days, weeks, months of preparation come down to, gentlemen, start your engines, and we're ready to go racing. And that's what 42 drivers are really set to get on with tomorrow. The Twin 125s showed us some things, but we saw something today in the 300-mile Grand National race. This Chad Little car, number 23, came from 42nd starting position to win it.